Good morning. I had something on my mind. I watched something yesterday and it really touched me. And it's on my mind still this morning as I wake up. And I just have to say something. I watched Cam Newton, and he had, I guess it was Funky Friday, and he had an interview with a doctor, a lady. Forgive me, I forgot her name. I feel bad, I forgot her name. But anyway, it's on YouTube or whatever. You can look it up, Dr. Brown or whatever. Anyway, during the discussion, she was talking about high value men, high value women, and high functional men, high functional women. And she was trying to get across the point to Cam that there is high value and that is really just dealing with finances. What can you produce as far as financially, status wise, and all that. And then high functioning is what is your emotional maturity level? What is your self awareness level? What is your ability to convey and express your emotions without being dramatic, violent, confrontational? Can you get a point across and get understanding to someone without being loud and argumentative? And she called that high functioning, so that you can be in a relationship with someone and not deal from your trauma and your hurt, but deal from your actualized self. So anyway, it got into the conversation where Cam sees himself as high value, but he put high value and high function together. An example came up about him having 8 children. And he asked the doctor, was he high functioning, high value? She said, you're high value, but you're not high functioning. And Cam took offense to that and asked her to explain. And she explained, you have 8 children. You have different mothers with those children. Therefore, you have created broken homes. And he actually had the nerve to say he wanted more children. And he took offense to her saying that that was low functioning because he brings his children to his home, all of them, and he cares for all of them, and he is active and participatory in all of their lives. And what he didn't understand is that for her calling him low functioning for that, it wasn't a value on his fatherhood. It wasn't a value assessment. It was an assessment of the situations created by having children by multiple women. And what Cam didn't get was she was trying to get him to see the situation from the children's side, not from his side. You know, it's 2 things there. It's not a value judgment on you as a father. It's a value judgment on the situation created, number 1. And it's a judgment from, are you looking at this situation from the needs of the children and not from feeding your need of whatever your need is that you want to go around making babies with people that you're not married to. And it's a broken home, even if you were married first and you end up divorced. The home, the unit is broken. Those children, when they get up in the morning, when they go to bed at night, they would like to have both of their parents, the people who brought them into existence, they would like to be able to touch and run into the room too if they're having a nightmare, both of their parents. They would like to walk out of the door to go to school, to go face the world or whatever, knowing that there are 2 people. The 2 people that created them will be right there at that home when they get back. That's their foundation They have a sturdy foundation that they're the two people that made them are always there and available and have access to them, and they have access to them. That's why the home is broken, not because you're bad people, not because you're evil people. No, 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 no. It's the situation. It's not a value judgment on you as a person. It's the situation. And it's low functioning here in this sense. You're selfish. You have to be able to admit that. It's selfish to bring a child into the world when you know it takes two people to make a child. And you decide, well, I just want a child. You're thinking about what you want, not what the child wants and needs. And here's the thing I learned in my own life, and there's mistakes that happen. Okay, I'll give you one child as a mistake. But you and I know it's multiple. Very few stop at one. They get to one and they keep going. Me in my situation, I got one, and I was like, oh my God. I wanted a baby so bad. My mother was dying of cancer. My father was sick with Parkinson's. I grew up in a broken home because let me tell you something else. A home can be broken if the father and the mother are there, if the parents have no desire to see the needs of the child. My parents didn't care what I did as long as I didn't embarrass their public status. As long as I didn't do anything that would bring negative attention to the family. And so I always wanted a family all my life. I just couldn't wait to get my own family, get my own family, get my own family. And then my parents started being sick. It's like, oh, I got to do something, hurry, do something, hurry. And I was always engaged. You know, Cam talked to the doctor too about this woman running thing. I was the runner too. I would get engaged. I was scared to get married because of how my parents' marriage was. But when my mom got close to dying, I went and got a baby. And oh my God, realizing what that child needed and how I just selfishly brought this baby, and now I can only give a part of what this baby needs. And I realized then, don't ever do it again unless you have both. Because it's the hardest thing we ever did was raise our children. I eventually got married and I had one more child. I said one more because even with the two parents, raising children is the hardest thing I ever did. And what makes it harder is I didn't deal with my trauma first before I brought the children into the world. So I could never really hear them good. I did the best I could. I loved them. I tried to be there for them. But they let me know all along the way areas where I was missing it. And here's something about having kids, being married, all of it. This word love. Love means sacrifice. And you can't sacrifice for anybody if you can't get out of your own trauma and your own head so you can hear what the other person needs. As long as you're in trauma, all you hear is what you need. That's all you hear. That's how you operate. That's all you deal with is what you need, you need, you need. And that person that's next to you, that child, that spouse, you can't see or hear what they need because you're always operating from your trauma. And over the years, I did the work. And I would come back to my children and repent. Same with my spouse. You learn better. And as you learn better, you do better. And you go back and you apologize for those areas that you missed it. And I apologized to my children. Not only did I apologize, I told them what I should have done, and I told them how what I didn't do was going to affect them in the world and how they would have to deal with it. There are things, because I could not go back, put them back in my womb and start over again. There are things that they missed in me parenting, missing things that the world was going to give them the what for, and that's how they were going to have to learn the lesson, because I didn't do what I needed to do as a parent. So life was going to have to teach them the thing that I didn't at the time they needed it. So there were ways and pathways formed in their mind that was going to cause them to make choices that life is going to pip, pap, pap all up in the face, and then they were going to get the lesson that I probably could have given them had I been a better mother in that area. But that's getting off too far on the rabbit trail. The main thing I wanted to say is that when someone is telling you low functioning, it's not an insult. It's not a value judgment on you, like you're a bad person. What they're telling you is in this area, in this situation, you are not your best. There's a better you that can deal in this situation if you allow the better you to come forth. If you deal with your trauma from childhood, from whatever happened that caused you to be skewed, your mind, your decision are skewed to the trauma, the way it make you feel. In psychology, they say that you're stuck emotionally at the age of the trauma. So you're making decisions and choices as a 12-year-old, a 5-year-old, in the way that they would do it because you're stuck at the age of the trauma. And you're processing things as a child that age will. You know how kids do, they don't want to hear. Put the fingers in the ear, la, 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 la. You may not put your fingers in the ear and la, 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 but you're not listening. And when you can't listen and hear the emotions, the needs, the expression, the desires of other people you're in relationship with, you're low functioning. You're not a bad person. It's not a value on your personhood. It's your relationship, your emotional maturity. Stop bristling up and rearing up like a cobra or a rattlesnake when someone is trying to express their opinions, their emotions, tell you what they want. And as a parent, stop rearing up and bristling up with your children. Take a deep breath. Woosah. Listen to the heart of your children. See where they're coming from. See their need. That's love when you sacrifice. Love is sacrifice. God so loved the world that he gave his life. He gave his only begotten son, and the son gave his life. Love, true love, you give up yourself for the needs of the other. That's love. And you can't love anybody. You can't even love yourself when you're stuck in the trauma and the bad things that happened to you and how that affected and shaped you. And you haven't dealt with it to say, okay, this happened. It's awful that it happened. It's wrong that they did what they did or what happened. How can I take that and not keep reacting in life from it, but take the strength that it gave me because I overcame it. I'm here. Give yourself credit and a pat on the back. You overcame whatever it was your mother did. If you're still here, you made it. You overcome. Not just I'm a survivor. Survivor mean you just crawled through and you got glass and stuff still on you. No, you're an overcomer. You overcame it. Get a mirror and get an honest look at yourself. You're not damaged goods. You're an overcomer. You're triumphant. Now, what did that trauma give you? It gave you resilience. It gave you toughness. It gave you strength. And if you're really diligent in doing the work, you'll find it gave you discernment. Because you'll get a bristly feeling. The Spirit will give you something to know when you're in the room with people who are like the people who hurt you. You'll begin to discern things when you settle in and accept, yes, that happened. But that trauma is not a destination. It was an occurrence. And I don't care how many times it happened and how many years. It was occurrence, not destination. It happened to you. It is not who you are. You get to choose who you are. You get to be what you want to be. And you get to have the power of having gone through those things and overcome them. So now you have muscles that maybe somebody else doesn't have because they had to be exercised for you to get through what you went through. So you have power. You're not some victim. You're powerful. Because like I said, you got muscles that have been exercised that a whole lot of people don't have. Encourage yourself in that. And let that be the power and the ability and the strength that you need to get to do the work and get healed from your trauma so that you can become high functioning along with your high value. And that may be the barrier that's keeping you from being high value because you don't value yourself because of what you went through. So you don't strive and you don't work and you don't do the things you need to do to be high value as well as high functioning. Look at it from a different angle. Stop feeling bad within your own self so that when someone says something to you, you take it as an attack. That's because it's hitting the bad button that you already have within yourself. It's triggering that bad thought, that scar, that wound that you still have in yourself. Once you realize wounds need to heal. When broken bones heal, they're stronger than they were before. There's extra bone that's put there. Like I said, extra bone, extra muscle. You are stronger than a whole lot of other people because you've had a bone broken and bone spurred and extra bone grown. And you've had muscles worked and made bigger that other people haven't because of what you've been through. Therefore, you have power that other people don't have. See it in a different light. Stop seeing it as a deficit because you went through this, you went for that. See it as a plus. See it as an asset. See it as a secret weapon that you have. See yourself as a superhero because you have powers from having muscles worked and bones broken and healed that other people haven't had. So I said all that to say this. Low functioning, again, is not a judgment on you as a person. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a worthless person. It doesn't make you a person that nobody wants to be in a relationship with because you're damaged goods. It just means you need to heal. You need emotional maturity. You need to deal with your trauma, face it, admit it. Notice the things that it caused in you that causes negative behaviors, thoughts, and actions. Recognize it, admit it, deal with it, and come forth as the beautiful, powerful, wonderful creation that God made. And remember, God knew the trauma that would happen in your life, and no, he didn't stop it. Why? Because he wanted a superhero. He wanted a superhero. He wanted somebody who could now go into situations like what you went through and pull somebody else out because you've already been there. Because understand this, sin is in the world. Tribulation, trauma, abuse, rapes, all those things, that's never going to stop until the end of the earth. But God needs superheroes. People who can go through that and come out the other side, not as a wounded, feeling sorry, self-pitying victim, but as a warrior, triumphant and powerful, who will now go alongside people who have been through that and bring them through triumphantly. They overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives to the death. You're greater than what you think you are. Do the work and get there so you can see the hero lies in you, the superpower, the superhero that you are. You're not damaged goods. You are a masterpiece in the making.